Hello, everyone. Very, very good evening. Thank you for giving us engaging time at today's date. We understand how important today's date is to a lot of people who is tracking the entire nation right now in terms of how it is going to turn politically and also your stock portfolios, right? But I would like to personally thank for giving us this engaging time this evening. I'm going to take a few moments in the next 15 minutes of yours to take you through what we do at Sentinel One and why we do it differently, right? So my name is Kushagra. I lead the South business for Sentinel One India. And to begin with, I think everyone here from the security industry understands very critically that this is the screen they never want to see, right? We all want to stay away from this. And that's what we protect at the helm of it. We protect it at various facets, wherever it can come within your organization. And the gentleman who spoke before me, I think a lot of cues can be taken from their conversation as well. But if you see, once this happens, as leaders of various organizations that you're part of, there is a diabolical question that you all have in your mind. Who should I call next? Right? Who is the person that you're going to call? There are so many cybersecurity partners at this event. Can you take a very nice judgment around who you're going to call in such a situation? Would you call your operating system vendor? Would you call your network vendor? Would you call your, your firewall vendor? Who would you actually call? What ends up happening is leaders like yourself would actually call whoever is managing security for you. You'd call up your SOC people. You'd call up your cyber insurance providers. And that's who you would generally call. Because you know that these are the guys who would turn that screen from red to normal, right? And happy to tell you that we are in somewhat similar kind of a business, but let me tell you in more detail. Let me take you through this detailed analysis of all the breaches and all the cybersecurity incidents that we have handled over the past 1.5 years. We kind of worked with the leaders that we handled these incidents for, and we made this timeline graph in terms of how much productivity as an organization you lose, right? So it is somewhat between 14 to 28 days that you lose from your productivity time. But what you lose more importantly is your reputation as an organization, right? So, and this is happening at a very wide scale right now. I think everybody before me spoke about how the overall digital transformation in India and overall is happening, right? And they also quoted the Verizon DFIR report, which is a report of study across 1 million breaches that happened over the past year. And to simply put an understanding on this, if you see the major reasons as to why any organization is facing any kind of attack is that somehow they are not protecting their identities, they are not protecting their workloads or the cloud environment, because somebody spoke about cloud transformation is done. Yes, it is. People have moved to cloud. Who's going to secure it? 69% of all cyber incidents happened over your cloud environments, right? And at the end of it, what resides on that cloud or what is most important to you is your own intellectual property that is there on your individual devices. So if as an organization, we can protect our identities, our cloud workloads, our servers, and our own devices, and a solution which is built across making sure that you can get relevant information out of it is all what you need, right? Now, all of these attacks that you saw in terms of patterns that were happening across APJ, why were they happening this fast? Is because attackers have become relentless, and AI cannot be taken any more, lightly, right? People on the other side, which are the adversaries, now have AI. And they have AI that is nation-sponsored. Today, the fights that are happening, like banking sector only if you take, right? Somebody spoke about the Hong Kong incident that happened because of deepfake. What did that bank lose? That bank lost, let's say, $10 million. But more than that, that bank lost his soft power within the banking fraternity. The bank lost its premiumness within that banking fraternity, right? So now attackers have become so relentless that they have these weaponized AI and ML mechanisms that today in India, when farmers are sitting at NH1, it is actually a fight for something that the farmers need good. But the same farmers sitting in Canada are actually intriguing law and order. Same incident, same farmers, same community. But it's how the industry and the IT people on the adversary side are working for one nation, trying to showcase you what a perception has to be built. It's same in cybersecurity as well. Somebody will try to steal your intellectual property. There was a turbine company in the US. China-based espionage decided that they would make a turbine which is 50% more efficient in 40% of the cost. So today, not only that we have to protect all of these things, we have to protect our company against going out of business, right? So, why us? If you see, at Sentinel-1, why we are so uniquely placed and why we are the fastest growing cybersecurity company globally that is publicly traded is because of these two gentlemen. Our company is actually built by the best ethical hackers in the world. We are a 10-plus-year-old company. Tomar Weingarten, on the left-hand side, was the 5th rank holder ethical hacker in the world. And Anand Prakash, an Indian, and also my college mate, was the 3rd best ethical hacker in the world. So these guys understand what adversaries are thinking. And that's what we have put across our products, our services, and the entire technology, right? So this is what we do from a larger platform perspective. And I'm going to go in detail about good things that our friends at One Cosmos spoke about a lot on identity. So let me speak about the other two larger aspects, right? So let me start with devices. So if you talk about devices, how do you protect your devices? Ideally, you need to protect your devices with the most robust endpoint security that you can ever have in those devices. And that's what bread and butter of Sentinel-1 is. This is what we have been leading, doing for good 10 years, touched $1 billion in revenue, Gartner leaders, and we can tell you more when you meet us over the stall, right? But let me shift your focus on the other aspects of it, right? So if you see, from a cloud perspective, and this is not only true for cloud, but also for any other server environments that you might have, right? The number of cloud breaches that have expanded, last year 39% more. MITRE went and added 11 new attack techniques that were exploiting cloud. And as I told, threat actors are now using Gen AI, right? Now everybody thinks that they have their cloud provider, and the native security, and they are good with it. Trust me, we have done POCs for some very, very large organizations using native securities of these cloud providers, and we actually showcased that we can see your salaries, right? Now, why this happens? Because if you see, within the cloud side of the world, a traditional approach of protecting your cloud environment would never work. Because all of these attack techniques that you see on left are today used in conjunction, together, to create new attack patterns. That is why within the cloud incidents, again, across serving some of the very large cloud consumer bases, like Yahoo, Uber, Samsung, AWS themselves, we figured out that the top causes of cloud incidents happen because of misconfigurations, your credentials compromised on the cloud side, and insecure assets inside of your cloud environment. So what do you need? So if you are defending your cloud and your strategy is to make sure that your cloud is protected, you have to have a solution which can provide you security from code level. The moment you're ingesting your code inside of your cloud environments, to the point your cloud is efficiently running, you should provide a security which is continuous, right? With an attacker's mindset. I'll tell you one very interesting fact. We have worked against a lot of cloud security providers, and what comes out every time when we talk to a leader is that, hey, we have the best CSPM solution, we are paying them $1 million. But the problem is, every single day, they tell 1,000 problems in my cloud environment. I don't have the bandwidth and the DevOps people telling me that I have to fix those 1,000 problems because they believe the security people are just talking in heavens. They don't know what is happening in the real world. So what do? We make sure that such 1,000 things that you have, that your tool is reporting, our tool is also reporting the same 1,000 things. So how are we different? What we do is, because of this attacker's mindset that I have put over here, we actually attack those 1,000 use cases. We send harmless attack packets onto each and every attack pattern that you can have as an organization. And the tool itself is doing it. And when it is doing it, we change your 1,000 to actually 80. And now for all of those 80 things that we see in your cloud, you have a proof to show your fancy DevOps engineers. And then they definitely fix it, right? So if you see how far we have come is that today, on anything that is around your cloud or device, we correlate your entire context. We give you everything from what all do you have in your cloud, which S3 bucket is open, which cloud API, if exposed, can actually expose your intellectual property. We give you all of that information in a very consolidated view. And that is why, that brings me to the next very, very important topic. And banks love it. Everybody has a SOC here. Everybody has a managed SOC here. It's a requirement from RBI, right? So what we do differently, right? If you see, today, our entire data lake, when actually put in competition to world-leading SOC players such as Splunk, we have productivity times which are 20 times faster. And that is proven over and over again. Our SIEM and SOC data lake platform is built by the same people who have developed Google Docs. So you can understand the amount of innovation that we have got inside of this technology, right? But what we do around our data lake platform, and which is completely secure, is that we can ingest any amount of any source of data that you might have. Plus, at the same time, we do correlation, analysis, alerts, investigation, and we can also do a long-term retrieval of all the data that you have, because RBI is certain and all the bodies mandated, right? But if you see, not only that, being an OEM in this space, we offer you all of this as a managed service as well, right? Today, we are working with the biggest payment gateways of this country and offering them this, right? We make sure that we give you a SOC which is actually far ahead of today any SOC provider that you can work with, right? And we have built that platform so very well that you can ingest massive use cases such as, let's say, you are a banking company, right? You have payment gateways that are exposed. Or there is somebody who's actually using your banking APIs to do transactions. We can actually look at those transactions, correlate them with the DNS telemetry on where that communication is happening, and tell you if that communication was never supposed to happen, and then automatically block it. So today, our tool is providing ingestion, alert, correlation, and automated responses as well. So we have reached a point wherein we can say that you do not and no longer need a SOAR, right? But what do we do next? If you're using all of these services, the importance that and the quality that we offer in terms of our technology and services, we tell you that not only we protect you, but we also will offer you a warranty. That do God forbid, even after using all the services and technology that we are offering, you do get breached, we are liable to pay you money. And that is backed by the biggest US insurers and the US lawmakers. That kind of confidence comes when we are protecting companies like NASA, right? So, something about our company, we have more than 2,500 people. We are clocking roughly around 800 million in revenue, and we have 12,500 customers, including Fortune 3 among the Fortune 10. But even more important, because if you have all the financial sector leaders out here, we know, we believe, we have invested very heavily in India. We have 500 people that work in India. We have invested $10 million in building a data center in India to make sure that we can serve you locally in a regulated fashion. And in fact, we serve some of the very prestigious institutions in the banking and the government industry as well. If you talk about where we are trusted by very, very important customers in India, the largest airline to the topmost pharma manufacturer to the Indian government as well, the one that is getting formed today as well. And also some of the very large fintech and large digital native enterprises, because the kind of scale we handle is humongous, right? We obviously are leaders in MITRE and Gartner and Frost & Sullivan, but what actually warms my heart is we have 12,500 customers globally. 4,900 have went ahead and put a Gartner peer review for us, and our rating is 4.9. 40% of our customers think we are top-notch. Not many people in the industry even have that kind of reviews, right? So thank you so much for being such a lovely audience. This is Kushagra, and I'd be here at the booth with my team. Any questions, you're most welcome to ask. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kushagra, for that detailed presentation. Can we give a bigger round of applause for him one more time? Thank you. And now it's time we move.